Okay, after last night of opening up that DSG, I am going to acquire some of those parts to go in here and finish the M16. And what we're going to do with that one, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to do some work on that one too. We got to finish one after the other gun. So I did order from eHobby Asia, and the SHS G36 that I was supposed to be sent with this did not come. They only sent me the magazine. So I guess they're going to refund me. But crazy thing is, I was watching my email and I knew they didn't ship it, so I ordered one from Airsoft Club a week ago. So maybe Airsoft Club, it says that it's already in the mail. Hopefully it will be here so we can get the G36 out of here too, and move on to something else. Now, I'm going to do here with this thing is something new that I've been wanting to do for some time, but I just haven't had time. We've got the bonnet packing on, and then we drilled some holes here a little bit bigger so this attaches to the front of the gearbox. This is a core air nozzle, double O-ring. Yes, double O-ring air nozzle. This is not very good material. It started to crack a little bit in the inside for me, so I don't really like the brand, but double O-ring, it should work. But we're going to do some testing with that. So there's the bonnet packing. You can see it's pretty thick, fits on there perfectly. It gives a solid, so I changed out the O-rings on the air nozzle and made it more solid compression, and then I changed out this O-ring, made it a solid compression completely between those parts. This is a G&G from a Combat Machine piston. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up by taking the wires from the DSG and the triggers and everything, the trigger board and everything, and just finish this gun. and because I have the front plate already ready, everything else, and then this part will be done. So we're going to go ahead and put that together, and we're going to do some dry firing with this. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out because this is solid. I don't know how it's going to sound, but it's somewhat rubber-like, so I think it's just going to be a solid hit, pretty loud, hard, but we'll find out pretty soon. So I'm trying to shim for the M16, the motor height for the M16, with this Lonix motor, and the end just pops off because the threads are destroyed. See that? The threads are destroyed. I don't know how best to explain that. I felt that the screws were really loose. I tried to tighten them and they wouldn't tighten at all. And then when I tried to pull out the motor, the whole thing just came off, just popped off. And so I don't know what I'm going to do here because these are stripped and they're made of plastic. See right there? It's made of plastic. So it's stripped from, it looks like usage, because these weren't even holding on anymore. I guess I could close it up with some super glue and then never get into the motor again, right? I don't know. Taking so many losses on such a high power spring. Good to know for future builds, right? Okay, so the M16 project is just about done. I had so many issues with this thing, it was outrageous. The piece right here for the selector was not completely round. It had like a diamond shape, so the selector didn't even slide correctly. I had to shave it till it was circular. And then the trigger, which was, I switched between 3 other triggers that had several different issues. We had an issue with the safety bar, so instead on this trigger I found it to be the most usable, so, or I guess the one that you want to use. It pulls back far enough. Without pushing the trolley too far, or without sliding off the trolley. So that was a problem I had. And then I couldn't pull it forward when it wasn't on safety because it would get stuck with the cutoff. And then a third issue I had with the gearbox was it was too tight on the trolley area, this thing. So I had to put a different one in, or else I would have had to shave this one down because it was too tight, put pressure on the trolley so it couldn't even go forward, it'd get caught. So fix those issues. What else did I fix? Just trying to think here. Oh, I worked on the motor. I got the motor fixed, the Lonix motor. The screws had undone themselves so much from the M190 on the other gun that they actually busted off the end plate. I put red thread lock, got this in here, and it's squeezed in here tight so that the end plate will not come out. What else did I do to this thing to get it go? I had to do some dremeling on the gearbox to get the trolley, the trigger contacts installed, because the screw threading right here inside the gearbox had broke. It was really tiny, so I had to use a custom screw. Then I had to take the trigger and shave off a certain section so that it could bypass that screw, even though it was screwed all the way down. What else did I have to do here? I know there's multiple other issues I had to fix, but I had to do some dremeling for the body to fit in the wiring and to fit in the gearbox properly, and then with the grip. And so all that done, we're going to see how it sounds right now. Alright, so we're going to hook this up real quick. And see what we can pull as amps in a little bit. I'm just going to hook up for noise right now. Alright, so move everything out of the way so I don't have an issue here. And this does have the pressure plate inside for the gearbox shell, which was cracked previously. I radiused the cylinder area, and that prevented the cracking. I did a lot of dry firing before this point in the video, and I would check back and there was no cracking, there's nothing, so it's just going really well. So for semi, and this is on a SHS M130 spring, no short stroking whatsoever. Full auto. Now if you notice, there's a different sound here because we have that bonnet packing, which is making a different noise. The main noise that I can hear is the gear here that is not very centered when it rotates, so it makes a noise with that bushing. There's nothing that can be stopped about that, but like I've always said, mechanical is better than just trying to prevent noise and not worrying about the mechanical issues instead. So this is performing at its best performance right now as far as shimming goes. As far as I can tell, the trolley works perfectly even after modifications with the trigger. I'm trying to feel for heat. I feel nothing. think I've made my point as far as heating up. I don't feel anything here. If anything's hot, it's the hookup wire right here. That's 18 gauge that goes to this reset fuse. That is the only thing that has any warm to it, and it's gone now. You can't feel it. I mean, you can feel it somewhat and it's gone. But this thing should perform beautifully. As far as the core air nozzle goes, I'm going to have to run some tests on the feet per second and see how that goes. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a different chrono. But I was surprised how fast I did that with as many little issues that I had to Dremel and so forth. And then we'll go ahead and do another check on this. I don't feel anything, man. So, I guess we'll do amperage check. Let's see when we pull in amps here. So we're getting under 20 amps. Looking at the 1918. It gets hard to unplug these sometimes. And I am very happy because this is done. Now I've got to work on the DSG project again. Finish putting this together and chrono it. I'm sure it's got a solid compression, other than the air nozzle tube. Hop up would be the only issue I think would be there. The other weird thing is I don't know how well you can hear that, but I can hear the difference here. This noise here is a little too much that you can't hear what's going on in the rest of the gearbox. As far as the front of the gearbox, that bonnet packing makes a different noise than I'm used to. But the main noise that takes up everything is, of course, the bushing to the bevel gear right here noise. And there's nothing I can do to prevent that. I'd have to simply change out the gear and the bushing to prevent that type of noise right there. But other than that, performance-wise, this gun's going to be ready to go. So I'll catch you guys later. Hit you with a fist.